how did this 28-year-old go from making $0 to making $4.3 million every single year using this simple sales funnel? Now, this sales funnel has social media included in it. It has an email list, and it also has some secret strategies that I'm going to be revealing in just a second. But before we even get into it, like, how was he able to do this? And we're going to start breaking down the first one. Now, bear in mind, Dan Cole was a web designer before he even got into the creator thing, and right now he's built up a massive audience, a highly engaged audience that respect him and do anything he says. Now, before we even start breaking it down, it's very important to know that he has an audience of almost 4 million people, 3.5 million people to be concise, but it's a very, very large and engaged audience. And where this all starts from, this starts from YouTube. So you can see here, Dan is basically, he's a writer by career, and he's a really good writer. The way he writes is very, very intricate, and it actually takes a bit of studying to understand the way he writes and why he writes that way. But it's basically a very simple strategy that he uses for his social media. And the first step is his email. So he writes emails every single day. He writes these massive emails. So you can see I'm actually subscribed to his list. He writes massive emails that reach hundreds of thousands of people. I think he has about 171,000 people in the email list. And he takes stuff from this email and posts that on Twitter, and also reads that script that he used for the email as a YouTube video. So it's all interlinked. He does not have to create multiple types of content or different types of content to be able to post across multiple channels, because he can extract information from just one email and use that information for all the other social media channels. So he writes to his email list, and then takes that same content, records it as a YouTube video, takes short parts of those content, puts it up on Twitter, and also take small little sound bites and put them up as YouTube shorts and also Instagram reels. So it's very important to understand that the stem of everything here is his email list, and that's a very, very important strategy, and we're going to be breaking down every other thing that is involved in his email list. So the next thing you're going to see here is his YouTube. So YouTube is a very, very big one for him, and actually 50% of his revenue comes from YouTube. It's extremely powerful for him, especially being a creator. He has about 800,000 subscribers. He's posted about 174 videos. And also you can see he's like very, very consistent with his videos as well. And his videos are very different from what anybody else does. And this is why he stands out a lot, because his way of creating content is very different and very intricate from what any other person does. It separates him from the bunch. There's a lot of people who are writers, but they don't do it the way he does it. And that's why he's been so successful, because people want to copy his style because it's very, very unique. Now you can see his YouTube channel here. You can see the kind of videos he makes. Basically, his thumbnail styles follow almost the same pattern, just his face sitting in one corner and then the text. And it works really, really well for him. You can see his videos perform really well. This is about 100,000 people, watching these videos. And also, it's worth noting that he has 4 main CTAs, but I'm going to go into that in a second. But if you take a look at the CTAs for his YouTube channel, it's basically his book and his newsletter. So the main places he's driving traffic to are his book and his email list. And this is for 2 reasons, because his book at this point, he sold about 20,000 copies, and that's generated him over $500,000, which is incredible. And his newsletter as well is where he drives most of his traffic, because then he can have a personal touch point with his audience. It's very important to understand that email is way more personal than social media like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's way more personalized. You have a one-on-one touch point with your audience, and he doesn't really do much selling, surprisingly, in his email. He does it in a very strategic way where CTAs come once in a while, and he most times just redirects them to danco.com, where they can read the rest of the email, because the emails are really, really long and in-depth. So he redirects them to this email stuff that I'm going to call email extensions. And you can see here at the end of the email extension, which is basically a blog that has the same content as the email, but extended version of it. You can see here he has all of the CTAs, and we're going to go into that. In a minute as well. But basically, you can see the strategy around his YouTube is actually very straightforward. He takes the ideas that he uses in his YouTube videos and uses it for his YouTube, and then the CTAs are his book and the newsletter. So it's very important to understand that. The social media is standard, Instagram and Twitter. And also, he takes small sound bites, so basically taking some snippets of text and using those, reading those out, and using them as YouTube shorts. So he has a very unique way of editing as well, which I'm seeing some people try to start to adopt, like Mark Gray. I'm not sure if Mark Gray started doing that style, but Danko is really good at it. And you can see here he posts shorts pretty consistently. And shorts here serve as a top of funnel strategy for him because he can push that out to a wider audience. And then those people are going to eventually turn into people who watch his podcast or people who watch his long form content. So it's very important to understand how that works. And we're going to go into the next strategy. So the next one is Twitter. And for his Twitter, you can see here he has about 480,000 people following him on Twitter, which is a massive amount of people to be following, just one person on Twitter. And if you're on Twitter, consistently you see people who basically try to imitate what he's doing, but you can't be the second Danko unless you're just going to live in a shadow for the rest of your life. You just have to create your own unique path, just like the way he has. But that's beside the point. We have thedanko.com as his main CTA here, and basically that's funneling people again to the newsletter. So you can see here on Cool Letters, he has 175,000 people on this email list, which is absolutely a ridiculous amount of number, to have on your email list. But anyways, that's a major source of revenue. It drives about 25% of his revenue from there, and it absolutely makes sense for him to integrate that. Now, for his Instagram, you can see here he has 1.6 million followers, which is the largest out of all of his social media accounts. And all he does is post on IG, post IG Reels, and from time to time he uses stories to promote his product. And also he promotes his products in a very unique way where it's not very salesy. He goes straight to the point, and he's not trying to guarantee you anything or make any crazy promises. He's just telling you, this is what I used and I think is going to help you as well, but we have no guarantees. And it's very powerful when you do that because people can come back around and say, okay, this stuff didn't actually help me. Because this person is selling this to you as a system that he used, but he's not making any guarantees. He's saying you can put in the work and get the same results, but I'm not promising you're going to make $1 million, which I think is a very smart way of doing it. So you can see his post here. His posts are very conceptual, if that makes sense. And his IG Reels are basically the same that he posts on YouTube Shorts, which is reading out some snippets of text from his email list and using those as shorts. And you can see he gets massive amount of eyeballs. This has 9 million views. This has 33.8 million views. This has 7 million. This has 368,000 views. So he gets massive amount of eyeballs. So it absolutely makes sense why he's making that amount of money, because when you get to the point that he's at, he makes way more money than the influencer. So he has 3.5 million followers across socials, but he makes more than $1 for every single follower that he has. So it's very few influencers that can actually do that. I know an influencer who made only $2,500 in the first month of his launch, but he's making $4.3 million every single year. And this year, which is 2024, I don't know when you're watching this video, it might actually go up. But that's the strategy he uses for his Instagram. And on Twitter, like I said, it's very important to understand that all of this stuff comes from his email list as well. So he takes text and puts it together in a way that it's going to be easily digestible on Twitter, and it just posts it there, and it goes viral a lot of times, and that's going to bring in people both from the top of funnel, and that's also going to be used to nurture people at the middle of funnel, which are people who know him, and also get people to purchase the product, which is basically the bottom of the funnel. Now, the next one that we have here is TikTok. He hasn't been very active on TikTok. I think the last time he posted was last year, but it's very important that he has a massive following. It's very important to understand that he has a massive following there as well. He has 348,000 people following him. He has 4.3 million likes, and the main CTA as well is the Out of Focus book, which is his book, which he has sold about 20,000 copies of. He has sold about 20,000 copies so far. So you can see it all redirects here, and I'm going to break down how that all transcends, and I'm also going to break down, how he could improve his funnel as well. And also, if you're looking to build a funnel like this, make sure you click the link below to schedule a one-on-one call with my team. And if you want my serial conversion checklist that generated our clients over $3 million, just click the link in the description as well. Anyways, yeah. So his Instagram has 4 CTAs. One of them is the newsletter. The second one is the 2-hour writer. The third one is the mental monetization, which I'm going to go into in a bit. We're going to break that down, and also the Out of Focus book. So the Instagram goes to all of the 4 main CTAs. It doesn't really contribute a lot to his revenue, but it contributes to a decent percentage. 50% of his sales come from his his YouTube channel, and 25% comes from his email list, which adds up to 75%. And basically, 25% of revenue comes from his Twitter, Instagram, TikTok combined. So those are kind of the smaller revenue sources for him. Now we're going to go into breaking down these collaterals, and also it's worth noting that the shorts here, the TikTok shorts here are also the same thing as the ones he posts on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. So the first one we're going to break it down is going to be his newsletter. So let's open that up real quick. Okay, I think I have it here. Home, then cool. So you can see, work less, earn more, enjoy life. So, by normal standards, most people want to work more and earn money. But here he's playing on the desire of working less, earning more, and enjoying life, which is what a lot of people want to do. But the only way that they know is working more to earn more money, or spending more time to earn more money. And here he's playing into the desires of wanting to work less, which is what many people actually want to do, but they don't know how to do it. So this is a very, very simple, good headline that plays on those desires. And you can see here we have social proof as well. Join 175,000 people getting mind fucked every Saturday morning. Excuse my language, but it's what he used on the on the sales page. Anyways, you enter your email here and you get added to the email list. And here, there's not really much to break down here because it's a directory for all of the products that he has and also his blog. So you can see here he has one person business, the out of focus, his product, his book, one person business course, 7 days, 2-hour item mental monetization, you build your second brain. This is basically just a directory for his blogs and his product. And also it has like a simple bio because that's very important if you want to build trust with your audience. And just a simple CTA. Now, that's it for that one. The next one we're going to be breaking down here is the 2-hour writer funnel. And I'm going to switch that real quick. Now, you can see the future belongs to the creative. Learn the AI-proof skill for the digital economy without spending 4 years and $42,599 on a degree. Let me explain to you why this is genius. This actually was not AI-proof skill. This was recession-proof skill about maybe 3 months ago. And right now, everyone is talking about AI replacing jobs, and he has smartly changed that up to AI-proof skill. This is very important to understand because you need to follow trends. You need to look up things that are getting a lot of attention and leverage that in your copywriting. So he's saying here, learn the AI-proof skill for the digital economy. He's playing on the pain points of AI taking your job and using that on his headline. So if you're someone who's scared of AI taking your job, then you're going to be likely to opt into this product that he has because now you see that it serves as a solution to AI taking your job. It's very important to understand this, and without spending 4 years and $42,000 on a degree. So he's removing the objection of spending a lot of money upfront, right? And also he's positioning this $42,000. It's not directly tied to his offer, but also it keeps that, it places it in your mind so that you feel like this is going to be a very expensive product. And I don't agree that it directly correlates to the price. It is directly correlated to the price of its product, but I do think that it creates a type of price anchoring that's going to make you feel like, okay, this might be a very expensive product. Now, implement our 2-hour content ecosystem with the Notion templates to learn high impact digital writing, boost your online authority, and systemize content creation for rapid growth. Here he's expanding on what he said on this headline, and he's doing it in a way where he's channeling all of the things that the prospect wants, which is number one, simplicity with the Notion template to learn high impact digital writing. People who are passionate about maybe writing or creating a business about writing, boosting their online authority and systemizing the content creation for rapid growth. So he's introducing all of the major aspects that his audience cares about, or someone who's landing on this page cares about. And that's very important to understand. So here he has social proof, join 13,000 students, join 13,000 students that have been enrolled, and that's a very, very good CTA because it uses the social proof very well. And here he has social proof, which is very important as well. If you can have social proof above the fold, make sure you have it just below the above the fold because most people actually don't scroll, and what they do is basically scan the above the fold to see if they have sufficient information to be able to take an action. The world is shifting. Nobody wants to be a commodity, and here all he's doing is playing on the pain points that the prospect has, his audience. He understands his audience, so he knows that they do not want to be in this situation, which is to be a commodity. And that's why he's going to bring in his story, because the story now is going to make people who are at his past situation, who their current situation is his past situation, it's going to make it resonate a lot more with them, because now they see that if Dan can be able to do this, which means I can, because he's been in my current situation in the past. So I hope that makes sense, because it's very important to understand the power of stories, especially if you have a huge audience or if you have a very engaged audience. Stories are going to work wonders. And you can see we still have some more social proof, and now we go into the solution, and it basically, sells the solution and gives them, more CTAs, more social proof, and still giving them, more value stacking basically. And also if you scroll here, you're going to see a lot of social proof, just a shit ton of social proof here. So you always need to make sure you utilize the social proof very well. And on the pricing section, something I always tell every single one of my clients is that you need to value stack as much as you possibly can, because if you don't value stack enough, then it's going to reduce the perception of whatever product you're selling. Something I would improve here, I actually saw this from Brian Matthews, is change up the pricing structure to see what's going to work better, because people respond better to stuff like 147, 149. I actually think that's something that he should test. But yeah, that's it for this sales page. Now, if we go to mental monetization, you can see here for creators, writers, and beginners, monetize your skill set with knowledge product and say goodbye to time-sucking client work. So here he's playing on the pain points and also promising them a dream outcome, which is monetizing your skill set with the knowledge product, and also the pain point here, which is time-sucking client work. The next thing here, he does the same thing with the sub headline here, the roadmap from $0 to 100K to 1M as a one-person business, as one person, by turning your knowledge, interest, and skills into a portfolio of many income resources. So it's basically just expanding on what he has promised in the headline. Monetize your interest. I would possibly test a different CTA. But this is good for now. And also this is good as well. So here I like the disclaimer that he has. It sets the tone to, let you know that this is not promising you, $10,000 or $1 million. So you can see here he says this program does not promise that you'll make $1 million in a short amount of time, or whatever crazy promises are out there. So here you can see he's still playing on the pain points. The greatest killer of any entrepreneur's dreams are, not having a product and not controlling their income. So clients' work is still work you don't choose. And this is basically what creators want, to create a product and have the product, sell itself over time. If we scroll down here, you can see now he's going into the solutions and how this product can help you, which is mental monetization. I've always had a dream of doing what I love. And here he still plays on the story that he has, because a lot of people are going to resonate with it. It's very important to understand this. So scrolling down, now you can see some of the value stacking, some of the value that he's providing, letting them know what they're going to get upfront in the course. You can see how to come up with a profitable idea. He lists all of them, and then he goes even further and gives them bonuses. So that this is basically just playing on the psychology to increase the perceived value that they have, because once they have a higher perceived value about the product, then they are more likely to think, oh, this is going to be an expensive product. But what happens is that when they get to the pricing section, they see that this is only $225. It feels like, wow, I'm actually getting a deal here. It makes no sense for me not to buy this product, because I'm getting a lot of value out of it. So hopefully that makes sense. And here we have the FAQs. Now, if we go into my robot here, you're going to see some improvements that I would possibly make. So for mental monetization, I think he could add some more social proof and case studies to the page, since there are 3,000 students in the program. And also he can add a VSL as a way for his video consumers to easily consume the sales letter, because his audience is broadly on YouTube. There's a lot of his followers on YouTube. So I would argue that most of them actually love to watch video rather than read. So adding a VSL there is going to help him, a well-scripted VSL, and adding some social proof there is going to help as well. He also needs to add the reviews on the page and also the checkout page as well. So you can see his checkout page, it doesn't have any reviews. Reviews are really going to help the conversions on the checkout page. We've seen it work wonders for most of our clients. So you can see here on the mental, so for the 2-hour writer course, actually this is supposed to be 2-hour writer, but anyways, On the 2-hour writer course, he needs a VSL as well for video consumers to easily consume, and he needs reviews on the checkout page as well, just like we had here. So well-scripted VSL and also reviews on the checkout page, as you can see here. The next thing that he needs to fix is for the Art of Focus book, and you can see this one is very, very simple. It just has, a good headline, sub-headline, a good CTA and social proof. And basically his whole way of selling is selling a concept, the idea of being free and the idea of being, a creator who doesn't need to work 100 hours a week, who needs to work maybe 2 to 4 hours every single day and still make a lot of money. And that's what he's trying to sell here. I may be wrong, but that's what I've seen from most of his messaging, is that he's trying to teach people a different way of thinking about freedom specifically. So it's very important to understand he's trying to be a thought leader. So for this one, what I would add here is, because since he has 20,000 people who have bought the book, it will be very beneficial for him to have 20,000 people have read this book, or 20,000 people have bought this book, just like we have here. You can see order on Amazon and then join 20,000 plus readers. That's going to help with the conversions, because now people see, 20,000 people have actually bought this, which means there might be something about it. And it's very nice the way he plays on the social proof as well. So he has really heavy hitters here, like Sahih Bloom, who has about 1 million followers on Twitter, and he has Ben Mir. I don't know him, but seems to be big. Dan Go, who is obviously big. So he has this really heavy hitters on his page, and when people see that, they're like, these people I know are buying this product. And you can see the Amazon store for the book. So that's basically a general overview of his funnel. I can go a lot more in depth, but that's going to be it for this video. If you got any value out of this, please make sure like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also you don't want to miss out on other ones. I have a Charlie Morgan one coming out. I also have one for Ryan Pineda. So you want to stick around for those. There's going to be a lot of value there. And also, if you got any value out of this, again, please like the video, subscribe. And if you want a funnel or landing page built for your info product, coaching, or consulting business, click the link, schedule a call with me, and I'll see how and if it can help you. I also have a free CRO checklist that you can grab in the description. It's helped us generate $3 million for clients in the past 9 months. So I think you find that very valuable. You just click the link, enter your email and name, and you get that free resource. It's going to be very valuable for you. With that being said, my name is Brilliance, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Take care. Cheers.